Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, regular council meeting to order. It is 6:48, sorry we're late. Ms. Monroe, if you'd like to call the roll.
Yes. Mayor Don Barnard.
Here.
Tiffany Hollis. Here. Brian Green.
Here.
Dave Seeland.
Here.
Jeff Barr.
Present.
Wes Coble.
Here.
Bob Orsini.
Here.
If you could please stand for the invocation given by Councilman Coble, and then we'll pledge allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for your many blessings, the blessings upon this great nation. Thank you for your, excuse me. Thank you for what you've done for this great community and those who are a part of it. We pray that you bring us through this week safely and be with those in need and continue to watch over those that need your healing hand. In your name we pray, amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. The first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes to it or anything they'd like to add?
Motion to approve is written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed?
Okay. We have a proclamation tonight. Ms. Hollis? We can call Mayor Dutcher up. So Mayor Dutcher was the mayor right before this period, and he led this town during a very difficult time and did it with a lot of grace. So we have a proclamation for you. Proclamation honoring the former mayor for distinguished service to the city of Johnstown, Ohio. And we get to say city because everyone else was village, so that's right. Whereas began in 1813 when the city of Johnstown was established, whether elected as mayor or appointed as mayor, many citizens gave the best of themselves to bring to fruition their visions for Johnstown to grow and prosper as a community. And whereas former Mayor Chip Dutcher served the city of Johnstown as a mayor from 2020 through 2022. And whereas former Mayor Dutcher served the city of Johnstown with distinguished and outstanding service to its citizens. And whereas former Mayor Dutcher's service to the city includes many worthwhile and lasting accomplishments, too numerous to name individually. And whereas former Mayor Dutcher's outstanding service to the city of Johnstown reflects well upon him and the Johnstown community that he led. And whereas Mayor Dutcher is hereby honored for his dedication, time, and effort, along with leadership and dedicated service to the citizens of the city of Johnstown, Ohio. And now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Donald Barnard, on behalf of the Johnstown City Council, call upon our citizens to celebrate the dedication and commitment of former Mayor Chip Dutcher and all that he gave to our community and for what we have today. Thank you for your total service. And we have a flag for you that flew over the city, except we didn't fly it over today, it flew over yesterday. It's well, thank you very much. I appreciate this. Yes, they were good times, they were tough times, but we got through it. And as all of you know, I hate having my back. You're here to serve the citizens of the city, as I was. And you will continue to do that. And even after you leave council or the mayorship or service of any kind, you'll continue to care about this place, as I do. So thank you again. I appreciate it. And good luck. Thank you, sir. So Teresa contacted me yesterday and asked if she could fly the flag yesterday. She said it's going to rain all day today, and she didn't want to be out there with the flag multiple times, so. Thank you.
I didn't want you to have a wet flag. For my
It was the
hair.
first thing Tiffany said when she grabbed it. She goes, "This wasn't over the city today."
Not today.
Okay, we have correspondence from the Department of Commerce, Liquor Control. This is the Economic Development Transfer Form of TREX. I'm going to have Teresa explain this and what this is for, and then we can talk about what we need to do.
So I received this correspondence. It's called a TREX application. We've only ever received one before, back in 2016. But it basically allows a local business to request a liquor license that is currently not available. And there's a way that they transfer it from another municipality, I believe. So the application, basically, they're petitioning to get this license under the fact that it would be an economic development project. So that information in here is for your review. The reason it's coming before council, obviously, the only people that are permitted to sign off on this application are the mayor, city council member, law director, clerk of council. So they would be the only, city manager can't approve it, staff can't approve it. So it needs to be something that council needs to decide. One, is this an economic development project? And two, is it something they think is going to be good for the city? In 2016, just for historical reference, it was CVS. They applied, and the council at that time denied the request. They didn't feel it was an economic development project. So that's the only precedent that I see.
Could we kick this to Economic Development Committee and have them take a look at this and make their recommendation to council based on what they found?
Is it still for CVS?
Do what?
Oh, I'm sorry, I saw it.
This is Granville Millard.
Yeah.
Who's on Economic Development?
Me, Wes, and Ryan.
Would you guys be willing to take this and take a look at it?
I don't know that we need to. I don't know that it's that advanced of a permit. I think this one's pretty straightforward.
Okay, what would council like to do then?
Meaning it would be on the table to either approve or deny? It's up for discussion.
I mean, they're saying that they're going to bring in $1 million of economic revenue.
Is that their total sales for the entire Granville Mill?
I don't know. So the total amount invested in this project is $1 million.
Is that money that they've invested into, like in whatever they're planning to upgrade to allow this type of sale, or what?
I'm a no until someone helps me understand how this is an economic benefit to the community. I'm not gonna try to read the application and the basic information, make decisions. I would like the applicant to present a proposal with details and definitions, because, $1 million worth of revenue, that's a big number. I don't know how that's gonna happen based upon this application or what their plans are, but I would like to hear more before I'm even prepared to decide.
Okay. Can we table it, Teresa, and have them come in? Request them?
It doesn't need to be tabled. I can invite the applicant to a committee meeting or back to council, whatever you would like to answer more questions.
Would you guys like to have them to council then?
Yes.
Okay.
Committee or council, it's up to them.
Okay. We just have them come to council next session?
Yes.
Is everybody good with that? Okay. We have citizens here tonight. Does anyone have any comments on matters not on the agenda tonight? Ms. Monroe, did you receive any?
I did not.
Okay. Council committee reports. Planning and zoning, they met on September 23rd. Their next is October 14th at 6:30 in council chambers. Mr. Green, what were the highlights of that one?
Solid meeting. We talked about some new property divisions and things coming to the city. You'll see those coming up. Also talked about light manufacturing. We're gonna talk about that again in zoning, our next meeting, and that'll be coming to council as soon as we can.
Design Review Board, they met September 23rd. Their next meeting is October 14th at 5:30 in council chambers. I do not have to call on you this time, Ms. Monroe. Ms. Green, would you like to come up and explain this, or talk about what happened?
Sorry, we're gonna put you on the spot.
I don't remember what exactly we saw. We saw the house down there on 37. They're doing an expansion, remodel, and an addition of a garage. We tabled that to receive more finishes and a little bit more direction on the exact materials. What else did we see? We saw the Jersey Mike's
Yep.
sign, was that?
Yep.
Yeah, we saw Jersey Mike's sign, approved that.
Freya.
What was that?
Freya.
Oh, and then we saw
Downtown.
Freya. Yeah, Freya had been tabled a couple times, but we ended up approving that as well. And I think that was it. We had some discussion on the design review committee for the standards and working on getting a joint meeting together for council to go over your direction on that and where we are to date.
Will you be here for the whole meeting tonight or no?
Most of it probably.
Okay. Other business, I'd like to discuss this joint meeting, how we can get it scheduled, so.
I have
Go
a
ahead.
question for
Yes,
her.
sir.
Do we have a tentative or a firm date of the opening of Jersey Mike's, or do you know that?
No, they said that they were waiting to get their sign
Okay.
before they opened. They said they do not, as a company, open until they have their sign. So they didn't
Couple
have any
weeks off at best.
lead days, but I think online I saw that it was like the 13th. But that was just on their website,
Of,
Jersey Mike's. Oh, of October.
thank you.
Any questions for her? Yep, thank you, ma'am.
How's that? Show up at the meeting, get thrown right in.
Good job.
You did great, Heather.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Safety and Service met tonight. Their next meeting is actually going to be on the 21st instead of the November 5th. They want to go at 5 or 5?
Well, we should probably go at 5 if we're gonna split.
For sure, 5.
Yeah, okay.
financing and those
They'll go at 5 on the 21st. Anything from that meeting you guys would like to discuss tonight?
We had quite a bit. So we had discussed again the 62 and 37 intersection with American Structure Points. There's ongoing discussion there and what the best course of action is. We'll have continued discussion there. Legislation review on golf carts, which council will see tonight, and their legalization in the city. We did not get to the chapter on food truck standards. I'd like to bring that up in other business. I don't think it's a lengthy discussion, so I think that's something that we can highlight here and make a quick decision on. We also discussed a tree off of East Jersey. We talked about streetlights, and we talked about a traffic solution in Concord East.
I brought up the streetlights in there, that I would like to see the administration bring some kind of pragmatic plan to replace our sodium haloid lights to LED rather than just, hey, we got 6 of them out, that's our threshold, let's go replace those. They could be all around town, but some kind of plan and associated dollars with it to budget each year so that, hey, we're gonna do South Main, or Main Street, we're gonna do et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's part of what the street lights are, so that whether it takes 1 year or 10 years, that eventually we can see all of our street lights with LED.
Okay.
Kind of similar to the street sign discussion we've been having.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I want to piggyback on Jeff a little bit. This isn't necessarily a function, but I think we put the infrastructure in place. As we change those lights, some of those poles need painted. I realize it's not the city's responsibility, but it would be nice if the city could put in some standards and some colors and some structures, so that if an association or a homeowner or a set of volunteers say, hey, you know what, when you're doing the lights, when the cone's off, it's a lot easier to paint the pole without painting the cone, right? We have some, like, it's gotta be this color, we want this paint, or whatever that is. If you put that in place, maybe that could roll together.
That's something we could talk about with safety and service.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, finance, our next meeting is the 21st. Will we be, I'll get with you, Sean, on the budget stuff for that one, so.
Okay.
Okay, director reports, service departments, water, sewer, and street. We received the service department reports. Does anyone have any questions on that?
On which one?
Either water, sewer, or street?
I have one question on the street maintenance. It says, bear with me as I find it.
I have one, can I ask mine on that?
Please go ahead, sir.
What was the cleaned up the concrete spill at Leafy Dell entrance?
I don't know who it was or where it came from, but there was some splatters.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like a big.
Yeah, it's like it fell out of the trough of the concrete truck.
Okay.
We got a call, I think it was from the police department that it was down, so I dispatched a crew up to shovel that up and get it out of the roadway.
Okay.
Jack, what was the leak on Elm Street there?
Oh, okay, yep, I was gonna bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
Service, but no, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
We can cover it right now. We had a service line leak on Elm Street. The main was the opposite side of the road than the home, which was 151 Elm. So we dug first shot underneath the road and just replaced our section of the service. The leak was on the city side of the service. So, and as we're doing with service line replacements, we actually put in a pit, moving meter out of the house, to meet what we're doing in the new developments. So what is left of that, the concrete has been repaired from the drive, we just have to put down new asphalt. So I got another little job I'm preparing, then we'll get hot mix come in and repair both sections.
Jeff, you found your question?
Yeah, I did. On the third bullet with street maintenance, put up no parking signs and barricades for each event uptown. Do we have a process in place that the, whatever organization is doing this, where if it's a permit, if there's an associated fee for the permit for these events, do we have anything in place for the multitude of events that we do? Or that the city's not putting these on, these are different groups that they have to fill out, some kind of application, et cetera. I know it's very minimalist as far as going out there and putting signs, but eventually it'll require more and more work. That the spirit of the permit is to cover the cost of the labor and the administrative time to do these things to make the city whole.
I do not know what the permits cost.
There's no fee.
Pass that, okay, they just fill out a permit. And what we do then is we get the dates and we work in conjunction with the police department, we'll take barricades up the night before. We post, I believe, 48 hours before. Barricades go up the night before.
72.
72 hours.
Barricades go up.
We post
No,
72
signs.
hours prior to the event.
We post 72, but the barricades, we've been leaving them up there longer. I prefer
The
not.
point of the story is that it's labor from both our.
You're asking, do we charge a fee? I don't believe we do.
There's no permit fee for the event. The only fee that they would pay is if there's a requirement for special duty officers, they pay the special duty officer rate.
Or if you want to advertise on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's no fee for the
But there is a
event
permit, correct?
permit. There is a
no fee
permit.
for the permit, but they fill it out so we can get it on our calendars when signs have to go up. when
Maybe what I'd
barricades
like to see is that, from your guys' perspective of, if it's so minimalist that it's not an impact, but I would like to know the amount of time we're putting into it, that at least to be considered as, should there be an appropriate permit fee to cover the cost of that event? Because if the event did take place, they're gonna be doing other city work. So we put it up there for public safety, blah, 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 and we have a fair number of the events. I think it's at least appropriate to review, discuss, and if it stays the same,
I
fine,
think
but
the entire process needs reviewed,
the
honestly.
the whole, whatever that is, of how that goes about, is what I'm asking. Did I give you
Would that
guys
go-
enough?
Would that go to safety and service, or would that go to
I think it's absolutely safety and
safety and
service, right?
service? Yeah.
To review it, or the direction is to give administration to review it and bring some recommendations?
Well, I think if council wants changes, they need to look at what changes they want to make and maybe go through safety and service to make those.
Well, I don't even know what we currently do, that's why I'm asking about, do we have a process in place? What is that? Then we can, what I'd like from administration, because I think it's an administration function to say is, here's what we'd recommend changing, here's their thoughts, if there should or shouldn't be a fee, and then we
So
can.
if we got a recommendation at the next safety and service meeting, and they gave us their recommendation based on the overhead for providing the service, they could at least identify their overhead for what it costs to perform that service, and then we can make a recommendation on what the appropriate fee would be.
Yeah, and we got a lot at our next safety and service with
Quite a bit.
quite a bit, so I'm not saying it's gotta be at the next one, but just,
But I think the overall process too of coordinating the schedule to
Yeah.
coordinating with the businesses to just across the board,
Right.
it's getting busier and busier, so I think it's a good
what
time
do
to
what do we
revisit it.
do now is what
Yeah.
I'd like to know, and from administration is, here's other recommendations that we should do to addressing your point of communication, safety, traffic flow, all these other things, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yep.
So Teresa, sometime in the next month, can you just jot down what the process is?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any more questions on the water, sewer, street reports? Okay, Mr. Liggett, if you want to go over your report?
Yeah, you have the 8 bullet points in front of you. The highlights there is number 1, Bowen has moved their trailer in. We had about a 2-hour pre-construction meeting discussing deliveries of chemicals versus being in their path of work and how we're gonna work together on that. And if all things follow as they were planned, mid-October, we will have shovels in the ground and start with the underground water line and electric lines going in on the new water treatment plant. And then I'm gonna jump clear down to item 8. Item 7, which is the Concord Crossing Phase 3. You folks that live up in there have probably seen blacktop going down onto Ambrosia, and I think as soon as rain quits, Cannondale will be the next to follow. So those are the 2 highlights. Any questions on any of the rest of the bullet points?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Public hearings of legislation. The first we have is ordinance 10-2025, an ordinance setting the cost for the certificate of registration fee and the construction permit fees for the right-of-way program and declaring an emergency. We'd be waiving the second reading. So this is a normal, every year thing, correct, Teresa?
Correct. Our right-of-way coordinator, Eric Sandine, calculates the mileage, and this fee actually is the same as last year. But he wants to get the bills sent out, and I think that's why he requests the emergency.
Yes.
Do you have anything else to add to that, Jack?
No, I do not.
So this is the fee that we get paid for maintaining the right-of-ways throughout the city.
Correct.
Anyone have any questions on it?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
are you good with it, Jack?
Yes.
And you're saying this fee didn't go up at all from last year?
No, our cost, now, we did buy a new mower, which will be amortized over time, but our cost stayed pretty flat.
Any other questions? Open up to the public if they have any questions. Okay. What is the will of council for ordinance 10-2025?
Motion to pass ordinance 10-2025 as an emergency.
And I ask you to amend that to waive the second reading. Do a vote to waive the second reading first.
I will amend my motion to pass ordinance 10-2025 and waive the second reading by declaring it an emergency.
You need to do a motion where you're just waiving.
Yeah.
I want to waive it by itself?
Yes.
All right, I withdraw all motions. I make a new motion. I'd like to make a motion to waive the second reading of ordinance 10-2025.
Perfect.
Second.
Okay. Bob Orsini,
Yes.
Dave Seelan,
Yes.
Ryan Green,
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis,
Yes.
Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Coble,
Yes.
Jeff Barr.
Affirm.
No?
Did you open it for public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and there was no comments.
Waiting for it to finish writing.
Now a motion to pass by
Make
emergency.
a motion to pass ordinance 10-2025.
Second.
Okay. Bob Orsini,
Yes.
Dave Seelan.
Yes.
Ryan Green.
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.
Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Coble, Jeff Barr.
Affirm.
Okay, moving on. Ordinance 11-2025, an ordinance to accept an amendment to the official zoning map of the city of Johnstown. Sean, if you'd like to go over this one?
I certainly can, but I'm going to do so in a way to kick it to one of the audience members here to represent the project so he can answer any questions you may have, but this is very familiar as far as something you've done prior. This has to do with the PD district, and from there, I'll kick it over to Jamie with Johnstown Land Company.
And this is the date of introduction, public hearing, so we'll come again, we'll have it again in 2 weeks to vote on.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this is first of what we would assume would be 2 readings. This is to zone what is known as the Trathen parcel, or used to be the Trathen parcel. This is really a sequencing issue because we've zoned everything else around it. This parcel's already been annexed into the city, and basically what we're doing is just zoning it so that it has the same zoning with the surrounding parcels to the east, west, and the north of it, so.
Why did it not automatically get rezoned when it got put in?
I think when something gets brought into the city, it automatically gets defaulted zoning to a rural agricultural. So, and it was, now sometimes what we'll do is we'll typically try to rezone and annex in the same night so that the annexation and zoning happen at the same time. Theoretically, you can't zone until it's annexed. So there's always a weird period of time where it's annexed and not zoned. Sometimes it's 15 minutes, literally in the same night. Because we felt that there was literally no risk from our perspective or the city's perspective, we were comfortable just annexing it, going through the sequencing, and then going up through the zoning process. We didn't have this property in our control when we annexed everything else around it. So that's why we're just filling this in to make one continuous site. At the end of the day, what we're going to be left with right now is sub-area 5, which is about 44 acres. That's zoned for commercial industrial. Then we'll have essentially another site that is industrial, which is part of the Dratham parcel. And then we have another 100-acre site to the east of that that is currently residential and commercial. So we have 200-acre sites and one 44-acre site along Green Chapel.
Okay. Does council have any questions for Mr. McNally? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, resolution 2025-37. A resolution authorizing the city manager enter into the negotiations with Ledcor regarding permitted use of the city's right-of-way.
I'm sorry, did you open that for a public hearing? It was advertised as a public hearing.
Okay,
I just
go
want to
back.
make sure there's an
So
opportunity.
I'm going to go back. I was thinking to myself, is the public hearing now or is it for next week?
It's a little backwards the way the ordinance reads,
Okay.
so I wanted to make sure. It was
Going back to
advertised.
ordinance 11-2025, does anyone here like to speak about the zoning, changing it from ag to, what is it?
PD.
PD. Okay, hearing none. So we're going to move forward to resolution 2025-37. Sean, I'm going to give you this one. This is something we've been working on for a few weeks. And can't wait to hear about it.
Sure. Just a real quick recap and summary. And if you have questions additional to this, feel free to connect with me here or outside of council. But since we are in the negotiation process, I would say at this moment, probably tread somewhat lightly. But I feel comfortable in giving you a review. For the past few years, the city has taken a different approach to the granting of right-of-way requests within the city. In doing so, we have identified that our right-of-way is something that we also have to maintain and operate our existing infrastructure. And so when projects are requesting the ability to locate there, it is then something that will have to be worked around at a later date, creating somewhat of a hardship for the city of Johnstown. So all applications now have a little bit more scrutiny associated with them. Typically, the projects in the right-of-way request service the residents of Johnstown, whether it be through some type of utility associated with electric, water, even internet, and some recent bright speed improvements that have went through. This request, a little bit different. There is no service that's going to be provided to the residents of Johnstown. It is merely just to pass through the city and utilize the right-of-way in order to do that. So again, this would create a hardship. I felt we needed to be compensated for this. Working with the utility installer, articulated our position and was able to have some high-level conversations, which led to some calculations that I shared with him relative to how much it would cost for them to go around versus them going through Johnstown, also identifying some additional again, workarounds that we may need to do in the future. So at the end of the day, my proposal right now is the city accept no less than 400,000. I have vetted this, and I apologize, this is no easy way to slice this. I've vetted this with a couple council members, not to violate, obviously, sunshine law, and gotten some feedback. If I were to do this with all of council, obviously it would be in violation of the sunshine laws. So I effectively discussed this with the mayor and the president of council to get at least some feedback from what I was doing to keep them in the loop. So I'll probably maybe take some scolding for that, but hopefully at the end of the day, the dollar amount that could be potentially gained out of this will salve any of the wounds that could be felt. Again, apologize, but in negotiating some of this at a high level with them, I did not want to give our position away in an open meeting discussion, and did not qualify for any executive session privileges. So again, tried to do the best I could within the parameters that I have. So tonight I'm requesting that council authorize me to continue this negotiations in a little bit more formal setting that would allow me to sign a negotiated piece, provided that the compensation to the village is no less than 400,000. It's a long narrative. I don't know how I could have done it shorter, but
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-37.
I've got to open it up for comment real quick.
You have to.
Yeah. Does anyone have comments on this? Okay, does any citizens have comments on this item? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, make a motion to approve resolution 2025-37 as written.
Second.
Tiffany Hollis,
Yes.
Mayor Barnard,
Yes.
Wes Coble,
Yes.
Jeff Barr,
Affirmed.
Bob Orsini,
Yes.
Dave Seelan,
Yes.
Ryan Green.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to Resolution 2025-38, resolution to approve the final development plan for Concord Crossing East Phase 3. I will turn this over to you, Sean, and I know you'll be turned over to their attorney.
yeah, but I'll give the attorney a little bit of a TS. So this is a procedural step in the development of Concord Crossing East. Looking back through the records, planning and zoning had actually went through this process and did do a recommendation for the final development plan. It had never been taken to council, I think, just because of probably a timing of the developer on the next phase that they wanted to complete. This one is now hot and heavy in front of us, and so they would like for the final development plan to be fully approved. And at that, I will leave it to Andrew Brower with Schleball to represent any questions you may have relative to what is being presented.
Hi, I'm Andrew. As you can see probably on the plats, this would be phase 3. It's a little backwards. We did phase 4 before this, but this would be the section. It's about 11 acres, a little less than 12 acres. If you're familiar with the area, just northwest of the common area, the 4-acre common area in Concord Crossing. Be 34 lots in a reserve area. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, either about the plat or process.
The only questions I have might be more for our staff, but you may be able to help.
Okay.
Did we ever get an answer on why the street widths on Cannondale are different?
I noticed that. I was running the other day.
The existing is wider than the new.
Yes.
Yes, and there's no solid answer or cause, they said, but the new roads meet, I think, the 27-foot right-of-way width. The other roads were just wider. That there was no cause, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was, my investigation showed there was no cause or reason why those initial roads were wider.
I just want to make sure before we go ahead and release the build on those if we needed to repair the roads.
But the new road meets our current width requirements.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm not familiar with the issue. I was not prepared for that.
I didn't want to put you on the spot. I know that we had taken a look. It was a question I asked when I saw the pours go down and everything came in there. The other question that I had, as far as the paving, in the state that it's in, I know that they have gone in and paved. I know on the last section that they did, there was like a separate paving that they did after so many houses were built. It looks like they're up to the final paving grade at this point.
They are.
So and they haven't built anything yet, so I do wanna make sure before we accept those roads that obviously they're gonna be torn up for a few years.
I have actually talked with EMH&T, Chris at EMH&T about that, because phase 4, which was done before phase 3,
Right.
the developer opted to just go to the intermediate course, why he built the houses on that street, so there would not have to be any repairs to the final course. We have no requirement for that, other than when we do our final inspection on phase 3, if the top course is damaged or scored in any way, we will not accept until they resurface.
Okay.
So it was a choice of the contractor and the developer to go ahead and bring that up to final course and then try to protect the road while they were building, or on the city's final walkthrough, if you see the surface coat is bad, to have them resurface.
Okay, as long as it was on our radar.
On that point, I think they're managing bond a little bit there. You know what I mean? So you have to bond anything up to 110% that isn't finished, you know, when the plat's recorded. So I think they're managing that, and we'll repair it after they're done.
Yeah, I can understand it. I just wanna make sure that when we do accept them at the end, that everything's in pristine condition, we won't have any issues down the road.
Yeah, when I saw that, Councilman Green, I immediately made a phone call, said, okay, what are we doing? We're not following the procedure we did
Okay.
on phase 4, and that was basically the answer I got, and everybody is aware that on final walkthrough, it will be inspected.
Any other questions, Ryan?
No, we definitely appreciate what's been done on these. I know initially when we took over, when this project came in and Schleybaugh came in, these lots were actually widened. Probably most don't know that, but originally these lots were
Very
more
small.
narrow. Almost, I think they were like 55, 58
They were
or
the
something like
neo-traditional,
that.
yeah.
So yeah, now they're at 72 feet across, so that's a much better neighborhood that we're looking at.
How can we, and I don't know if this is the proper time, but how can we mandate to Schleybaugh going forward from now on, when they come in with their trucks, they go down Middleburn straight through instead of going on Botachia and turning left, because they're tearing up the road. We fixed it last year and Schleybaugh had to pay for part of that. I think it would save them money and us money if they could just go straight through.
I think you just did. Am I correct on that, Andrew?
Yeah, I'll just talk to him.
Okay. If they could start having all the trucks go straight through, because they've got a road back there now by the dirt pile where they're going back, and that way they're not turning anywhere.
You said Middleburg,
Middleburn.
Middleburn.
And I talked to the resident back here whose house would be right there where they'd stop. And the trucks actually do stop at stop signs and go slow, so.
Will that be part of our final inspection as well, damage to Middleburn?
No, that is not currently part of our current inspection.
Or the traffic circle's really been the part that's been eaten up, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
That's
if
all
we're
the
gonna phase all the construction traffic through there, more than likely it'll probably be damaged. And that would be part, I would like to see that be part of a final inspection before we accept to.
Would that
to
be
repair those
the next
roads.
phase?
Yeah,
That probably,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that probably should be discussed now, and maybe an amendment to the development agreement, if that's what you want to have done. Sean, if you agree with that, because the inspection and what they're working on, there was no discussion of the existing roads. And as you said, Mayor, they graciously helped the city out where they knew they'd been turning and tore up that section turning on to Fondras. Maybe we can have that same discussion for review at the end of the project, but it is not part of the initial agreement.
I think that'd be the last phase, 6. They're working east.
Yeah, it's just with them going through if they continue to go through the traffic circle, it's going to get torn up even more, or if they just can go straight, they're reducing it a lot. Because those dump trucks and stuff are so big that they're just eating it up.
I think they have that cleared out
Mm-hmm.
now. I don't know that they did
No, they
during
didn't.
phase 4.
No, they didn't. They just cleared it recently.
That's where it's all torn up.
You said they've been coming down Botticelli, Botticetta?
They come through the traffic circle, go left, and then
It's an Italian bike company.
Botticcia to, and then they turn left on Fondries.
Thank you, I was struggling.
We don't know who named all these streets, but they're all foreign bike names.
I think that started with the prior,
It did.
prior developer, and they've,
Even
Carried
Middleburn.
on.
Middleburn, the most English one, is a bike park. So.
okay, interesting.
Did not know that.
Any other
Anybody else have
questions?
questions? Well, we'll get, I just gotta get to council, then I'll bring you up. Any council members? Okay, if you could come up, Mr. Yep.
Yeah, no one can hear you at home if you're not on the mic.
Okay. My quick question is related, again, to the paving. Right now, it looks to me like there's being a base coat put down, and then where you have the curb and the concrete that comes over, there's about, and again, I'm not calling it phase 1, there's about 1.5 inches.
And then the final 1.5 inches.
Will that be done after each phase of building is completed? Mean there wouldn't be more construction traffic
I thought
in that area?
I thought they just did, when I ran on the one. I
Did
think
they,
just it.
So one-
did they? Okay,
One street is done.
Yes.
Okay.
Down Cannondale, it's not.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Annandale is not, that is correct.
So I think Manderick is.
Mandarich and,
I think Manderick is. I haven't been down Bontrager.
Bontrager is. Bontrager is.
Del Rosa probably is not.
Yeah,
No.
probably.
Del
not.
Rosa is done.
Del Rosa is, so it's even now with the,
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
I
haven't
recall
been down
the
those, I can tell you.
Cannondale has been completed. Both section 3 and 4 is not done on Cannondale.
Okay, that was my only question because of,
But Del Rosa, I actually drove it this afternoon.
okay,
If you remember, Fondries was a good inch under the curb for the first year, and it
Yeah.
would flood and puddle up pretty bad. So.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just to answer Brian's question, I think relative to can the city require Middleburn be fixed, subject to final inspection and withholding that final inspection, give you the answer that you don't want to hear. The answer is probably not legally, because that wasn't a part of the developer's agreement. So if that's something you wanted to propose to the developer to amend, we could certainly do so. And
That's gonna be the next question of the people who live on that street is, after I have to deal with construction for 2 or 3 years, traffic coming through, is my road gonna get better after that? That's gonna be the next logical question, so I think we need to have an answer for that.
Would you mind taking that back to Mr. Schleybaugh and expressing their concern with it?
I will do that.
They've been wonderful to work with
Yeah,
and help
no,
the city, so if we
they've been
can.
great in working with us, so.
Middleburn has not been repaved since it was originally paved, correct, Jack?
That is correct.
Okay. That's the oldest street in there, that and Hainbury Alley. Any other questions? Okay, what is the will of council for Resolution 2025-38?
I'll make a motion to approve. Do we need to add those caveats into there at all?
No, we can't add those.
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Do we have a second? Jeff?
Ryan Green.
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.
Mayor Barnard.
Yes.
Wes Coble.
Yes.
Jeff Barr.
Affirm.
Bob Orsini.
Yes.
Dave Seelan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Introduction of legislation. This is one that came up to Safety and Service tonight. Ordinance 09-2025, an ordinance to regulate the operation of golf carts on public roadways within the city of Johnstown that have established speed limit not greater than 35 miles per hour. So as we've seen over the last several years, more and more golf carts are showing up on our roads. There's something that our residents enjoy, and it's something that can be beneficial to our community, making it more, what's a good word for that, Tiffany? Accessible, more welcoming. So I asked the chief to look into this, since they're technically not allowed at this point. He got with our legal team, and I'll turn it over to him.
So ultimately, this is to allow golf carts, which means four-wheeled, under-speed vehicle that is powered by gas or electric and that cannot exceed 20 miles per hour, is not originally designed or constructed for operation on a street or highway, and is the type of vehicle typically operated by golfers on a golf course. So ultimately, you need to have a golf cart, and it needs to be under 20 miles per hour. So if you have a golf cart that goes over 20, your inspection, that'll be done by the city, you will not get one. If you cannot ride your golf cart on State Route 62, also known as West Coshocton and East Coshocton. You cannot ride it on State Route 37, also known as North Main and South Main. You cannot ride it on Edwards Road, west of Fairview Drive, which would be the curve on Edwards Road as you start to go out of our city. And West Jersey Street, southwest of Hillview Drive. Hillview Drive would be our water department. That street right there, right across the street.
Okay. So this came before Safety and Service. There was some spirited conversation on this one with the roads where it can drive. With 37 and 62, you are legally allowed to cross it with the golf cart. You just can't drive on it, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so people coming out of Leafy Dell can go across onto Pershing and then take Oregon across to the other side of town. So there are ways to get to other parts of town. It does limit with the regulations those living in Raccoon and those living in Creekside. In discussion with those at Safety and Service, they thought those were dangerous areas to continue driving. Is that correct?
I agree.
The chief thinks they're dangerous going past the curve on Edwards and then down the hill on Jersey. So what was the recommendation of your Safety and Service, Ryan?
We voted to move this on to council, knowing that we're gonna have some debate on this. My personal opinion, I think the only road that we shouldn't have them on is 62, because trying to maintain in and out of that traffic and at that speed while you're going up and down the hill, I think you're setting yourself up for trouble there. The rest of the roads, I believe that, given the time of day, obviously, you have to know your vehicle and the limits of the driver. You have to know those, but I can't legislate morality and I can't legislate common sense.
The operators would have to have a,
Yeah, the vehicle or golf cart would go through an inspection through our city police department. Myself or designee would be doing that inspection.
but the operator.
They have
you
to have a license, they have to have the insurance, they have to have the headlights, the brake lights.
Right. So my 11-year-old
signals.
can't drive a golf cart.
I'm sorry, sir?
My 11-year-old can't
Correct.
drive a golf cart.
Correct. You have to have, 16, driver's license, insurance.
So I guess the question comes down to the council is, do you want to go with the recommendations by the chief on the roads? Do you want to change it? What do you guys want to do with this? So I'm leaving it up to council to decide what they want to do.
So I'd also like to say, in preparing this for this council, my job is to be proactive, looking ahead to where down the line, if we as a council have a serious incident that occurs on our roadway, I don't want to go back to this law and say, well, we should have never allowed it to begin with because something happened. So there was a number of other roads that I had not had on this, or I did have on this as prohibited. And I've got it down to this, and I think that this is the best to have a proactive approach for us moving forward as a city.
What other cities did you examine?
I didn't examine any, because
Did you bring up
not that many
Fredericktown?
cities have 20,000 vehicles that intersect at 37 and State Route 62.
I thought you had brought up Fredericktown.
Fredericktown does, and they allow pretty much whatever they want, and it's a much smaller city. I'm just doing golf carts, I'm not doing side-by-sides, I'm not doing utility vehicles. If later this council would decide that they would like to look at those ideas, then we can. I say that my opinion would be to start with this and see where we go.
So if we start with the,
And then years down the line, we could maybe make amendments, allow certain things. But right now, I think that this is a good way to just start the introduction to golf carts in our city and change it, amend it as needed down the line.
Chief, I think I align with the 62 thought, but could you talk a little bit more of why you felt 37, AKA North and South Main Street, why you wanted to prohibit them there, please?
On State Route 37.
Correct.
Ultimately, it is a very busy roadway in our city. There are multiple lights, there's crosswalks. Individuals are already having, I guess, difficulties driving as it is on 37 and 62. So I pretty much just put 62 and 37 as the same. And that's also my truck traffic, and that's my traffic. And if I got a 15, those golf carts are probably going to go between 12 and 16 miles an hour. If I put that on State Route 37 or State Route 62, I'm just looking for chaos to occur.
So the slowness.
I'm going to end up having road rage incidences because they're
So the
slowing down
so-
traffic, because they're going all the way from Concord, all the way to Leafy Dell, because they want to go see their friend.
If I'm understanding you correctly, the slowness of it, because it's a low-speed vehicle, is the concern.
That's the
because-
biggest concern, yes.
Right. It'll, understood.
Even if it's a 25 zone.
Can't go but
They're only
60.
going 12.
Right.
And you're holding up traffic, and people are already complaining about traffic at 37 and 62 as it is. We just had that meeting today. So that was my decision.
Okay. Anybody else on this side?
I don't like it at all.
Okay.
I think that the vulnerability we put people in, we allow people to put themselves in. How about that? And I think it would be prudent to prevent potential disasters when you weigh the benefit, which is a little more golf carting around town. I could see a 17-year-old kid crossing 37, stomping on that thing and pulling out at about 5 miles an hour, and a semi-truck locking it up, just like they run the sign. We watch them do it every day. And just absolutely, a car, at least you have a chance of living. That golf cart, you're talking about dead people. And we can't say you have to be 30 years old or some age limit to do it.
We can.
We can.
We can.
That,
We can restrict the age.
I might be able to
Essentially,
get on board
everything
with
this
that.
law, we can change the ordinance.
Because I know when I was 16, I would have got a golf cart that met the minimum standard with duct tape and everything else, and I would have been catting up and down the streets as much as I possibly could.
We can amend this however we want. This is our law to create.
If we could look at an age restriction, I could be convinced to look at it differently, but with the potential of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids jumping in a golf cart that can't perform and can't protect them from their own bad decisions.
Does the effect of a 16-year-old operating this thing also imply that they can't have passengers? Because when you're 16, you can't have passengers. I don't know exactly.
You have to drive a
Good
year.
question.
Yeah. You can have a family member.
So all those.
We could restrict it to 21. Anybody 21 and over.
I'm still not comfortable just through the safety aspect again. And just because we put the streets in the ordinance that says X,
Doesn't mean
Y, and
they're
Z,
not going to.
they're not, again,
Well,
it's as viable as
I could-
hang tight. It's as viable as a speed limit, right? We got speed limit signs all over the place, they're speeding past it. They think that going maybe from Concord to, 3 blocks down the road, they're just gonna take the quick shot over to 37.
I don't disagree.
So I'm just
Who's gonna watch the bike trail?
not totally comfortable with it.
I mean, bike trails are already happening in other cities throughout central.
We have,
The golf cart's gonna be hitting
Yeah.
the bike trails, right?
If they're not already.
If you have a handicap placard, you can currently take your golf cart on there, correct?
On the trailhead?
On the bike trail, don't they have a handicap provision?
I would have to check with Licking County Parks District.
That's their rules.
okay. Anybody else have comments on this item?
We allow mopeds, Vespas, other things to travel down the roads in the city, which are, I would rather be hitting a golf cart than on a Vespa. But
I don't want to be hit on either one of them, but I was just going to make.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna throw bad legislation on top of bad legislation.
To my knowledge, we could change the age restriction. If Anthony, that's who I've been working with, if Anthony says you can't change the law, then I would inform this council.
Does that give you any more or less
Well,
appetite?
I'll tell you, with an older demographic or some type of restriction to prevent people from potentially put themselves in terrible situations due to youth. I mean, if you're 30 and you make a bad decision, I mean, that's.
Does it change your appetite, Mr. Seelan?
No. And per law here in Ohio, you cannot legally operate a standard golf cart on a county bike path, even with a handicap placard. Ohio law prohibits motor vehicles on paths designated exclusively for bicycles. But back to the original question, no.
I hear two people that are, if you will, as it's written, would probably not vote for it, but there's 5 people that have not weighed either way. So
Okay.
is there an appetite to increase the age and put it out there and take a vote tonight, or
I
what?
think 21's appropriate.
You can call for a vote. You can't straw poll.
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone wants to make we got to open it to the public first, but if someone wants to add,
It's an ordinance.
An ordinance.
So it requires a second reading
Second reading.
unless you pass it by emergency.
okay, that's fine.
It will be on your next agenda.
Okay.
But you can change anything you want between.
Do I need to do something formally to change it?
Before you do, we need to open up to the public, and then you can.
Okay.
Would the public like to come up and speak on this item? Ms. Shook?
Thank you. Rusty, I appreciate your input in this very much. I own a golf cart, and we don't let our 16-year-old son drive it. He would not be able to drive it outside of the Leafy Dell apartment. He's taken it to a friend's house, but only in Leafy Dell. He is 16. He is licensed. I would have no problem with the 21 or older age limit on that. The only thing that I do know is that there is a couple people who own golf carts in Raccoon Creek, and they would be excluded from ever leaving their neighborhood after having those. So I don't know if we can possibly put a couple signs that indicate, like, there's deer signs out there that say, watch out for deer crossings, but we can just put out there for that particular hill on Edwards. But I think it's a fun atmosphere for the town. I think I'm all for not having them on 62 or 37. I'm fine with that. I don't have any issue with that whatsoever. I don't drive mine very rarely on there anyways. I always take the back streets. But I just encourage you to look at all aspects of this. I think it's a great small community and a city to be able to do that in, and to allow people to have a win for the city, because, to be quite honest with you, we haven't had very many. So I think that'd be a nice win for some of us. So I'm speaking for several people who have golf carts here that couldn't make it here tonight. So I just implore you to take a real long, hard look at that. Thank you.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
So ultimately, I've heard a number of people that have mentioned Creekside. Living in Creekside, you would be staying within your subdivision. But you also have the benefit that living there, you can also go to the shopping center where TSC is located. You could go to the McDonald's. You could cross to go to the Wendy's. Nobody else has that allowability within the law. So you can kind of take it for what it's worth. Nobody else can go to the shopping center, but they can. So I always try to look at things glass half full.
Just to be clear, the golf carts are illegal to drive currently.
In our city?
In our city, it is illegal to drive a golf cart down the street.
They are not. It's a state law, and we have to have our own ordinance that says that we allow.
Now, how does the carts on our streets now get licensed?
They would have to come to the police department.
No, currently, before this, they're getting
We
licensed.
went to Licking County Sheriff's Office or another sheriff's office or city police department that does the inspection. I'm not a fan of doing the inspections here, but I'm doing it for essentially the citizens of this community, so they don't have to go all the way to Licking County. They can just trailer their golf cart here. We'll take on the inspection that way. Did they? Okay. They must be coming to you now. I think you're correct. Ms. Cullen, I believe they went to her residence as well.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so this is a first-time reading of the ordinance. Jeff, would you like to, do we need to make a motion to add it, or can we just add it for the
You
next?
can make any edits you want by just going through it right now.
Okay.
If you want, or,
I can just
and then I'll just,
contact Anthony and just have it placed into the ordinance at 21 age. and then-
Okay. Let's add the over 20.
yeah, it'll
Is
be
that okay?
edited before your next meeting.
I want to have full conversation on this. Should it be 18? Should it be 21? Should it be 25? Why 21 versus 18, Mr. Orsini? I'm just throwing it out there for discussion so that we settle on if it's palatable for some kind of age restriction, let's have the discussion on the age restriction.
As far as, unfortunately, there's not a central age in which good judgment comes
True.
into play. So it's more of a concept than a construct, you know, concept of, I'd hope to have people with better decision-making abilities, you know, in those situations where they're very vulnerable, right? I do see bicycles on 62 from time to time, and they're clearly well above the age of 40. So that, you never know when that actually comes into place. So the age isn't the important thing to me. The thing that gives me pause is I don't want to see tragedy when it could potentially be avoided.
Sure.
Right? Someone could walk into traffic too. I know it's not impossible, but some of the legislative duties that I think are a responsibility are to look at these things and try to minimize risk whenever possible. That's my age concern. And it's not age, it's judgment.
There's a lot of 18-year-olds who have good judgment and 21-year-olds that don't, or 25-year-olds.
You just don't know where that line is. But I don't think 16 is a good one, because you don't even really understand what looking left and right means, right?
I'm good with 21. I don't know what the rest of you want to add for age.
Yeah, 18 or 21, I'm fine with.
I'm good with 21.
Okay. If you
Are we
could
good
talk,
with the streets as written?
62 is the only one that I would
Right.
prohibit. But what I don't want to do is carve this thing up to where it's not realistically enforceable. Because I don't need our police officers sitting out there trailing behind them for 10 minutes trying to see where they cross and where they don't. You know.
Well,
You'll find your
like-
problems when somebody runs one off the road.
Right, and I mean, like a lot of things, a lot of legislation that we have in this city is enforced on a complaint basis. There's not enforcement unless something blatantly happens either in front of an officer or if somebody complains. People are, right now, people are running these things all around town without a law.
That leads me to say run the legislation tight. Let discretion be the judge, not the other way around, where someone can point to the law to excuse their behavior.
I'm good with the way he's written it on the streets, and all that I would ask is that our public safety lead official be an open mind that if it's able to expand safely to Ms. Shook's point about Edwards Road, you know, we can always change it. We can always make it more restrictive or less restrictive. But I hear our lead law enforcement official with his recommendation of the streets. I'm good with it and adding the 21. That's all I got to say on it, Mayor.
Currently, if I come in with a Can-Am side-by-side that was street legal in Montana and it got licensed there, through reciprocity, do we have to allow those here?
Because it's licensed doesn't meet the law of the city of Johnstown as far as a golf cart. It specifically has to be a golf cart.
Because I know that's the next question we're gonna have is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but those
side-by-side.
communities out there are side-by-side friendly for travel and tourism.
Right.
That's why they're legal.
yeah.
Is a side-by-side more safe than an open golf cart?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would think so.
Yeah,
It
roll
also
cage.
goes 80 miles an hour.
That's, yeah, at least.
Keep pace at least, right?
Mr. Orsini?
Dave, does this help? I know this would help me if we put a annual or a period of time for renewal, so it doesn't go into perpetuity. It's something that has to be looked at, forces the council to look at it, forces a review, gives opportunity. It's much harder to remove something that's on the books than it is to address it when it needs reinstated.
I like that idea. I've thought about that.
Because then we can see kind of,
I've also thought of the idea that somebody in the community knows that we have a golf cart law, and they go out and spend $7,000 to $10,000, and then they're in our council chambers requesting that, you know, why get rid of a law? You pass this law, and then I spent upwards of $10,000 on my new golf cart, and you changed the law, and now I can't ride it.
No, I say absolutely, except this would be the alternative. Well, because we had 4 golf carts that were driven off the road into
I agree.
trees because they can't go fast enough for this road or whatever it is, and that's really why we're changing it. And yeah, it's terrible, but
I'm not fighting.
we legislate. I understand what you're saying.
I'm
We
just saying
legislate for the
this is an
community, not the individual.
Bob's suggesting this
Again, I'm
because
not
he's
playing
leaving.
devil's advocate, I'm just saying it could be an issue in the future.
Said you're suggesting this because you're leaving.
No,
No, I know. I'm kidding you.
I'll live over here. You come stop by anytime you want.
Okay, so for now, we're adding 21 to it
I'm keeping the streets as is.
for now. Okay. Okay. Other business, I will start with Mr. Orsini, if you have anything.
Nothing.
Mr. Barr.
I just wanted to publicly thank the PTO, all the booster clubs associated with the school for last week's homecoming. Many of the downtown businesses were involved. A lot of sponsorship. It was a wonderful evening to be a parent and a member of the community last Wednesday for the event put on by them. I think the major sponsor was Robertson Construction of funding and all those that involved behind the scenes. And it's really them I want to thank because those things are typically thankless. And there's a lot of people to recognize, but I think, I always forget her name.
Wetzel.
Ashley Wentz.
Ashley Wetzel, to truly thank her publicly for all that she has done for that event and for that matter, the PTO. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Cole.
I had a question. Are we running the concession stands the last football game? I thought I saw something about that.
Yes, it's next weekend.
Next Friday.
Yes, okay, all right.
Stop out and see us.
All right. Just double checking.
Ms. Hollis.
No, I'm good.
Mr. Green.
First thing, we have the Johnstown Adult Softball League wrapped up. We have a champion in our midst here. So congratulations to Jeff Barr and his
Lucky
team.
I got hurt this year.
The OG Johnny. So that's the first thing here. Next, on a more serious note, I was gonna ask about water bills. So it's come to my attention a little bit this year on extenuating circumstances. And I'm sure that, you know, there are always a circumstance when waters get shut off at somebody's house. Some are legitimate, some are not. Currently, if somebody calls in and possibly had a death in the family that resulted in money going to probate, things locked up of that nature, is one that I've heard this year. Another one was identity theft, where their account's locked up, can't pay, money can't come in or out of the account. For extenuating circumstances, do we have anything like that where they can currently prove that and we get the fees back, we waive fees and get that back to them?
On general, we follow our ordinance as written, but I do believe there is a section in there for hardships that is addressed by the city manager.
Yeah, while I'm setting this up for.
Sorry, I got Sean running on my next issue.
Well, Teresa has a ton of background on this because she's dealt with it over the years. But in the ordinance, Jack is correct. We follow the ordinance to generally a T. Teresa, if you can remember off the top of your head, I'll generalize it, but you may have it more specifically. If they call us prior to the situation, to the actual bill due date, there is a provision within the ordinance that allows for myself to make an adjustment to it. But in the ordinance, it says it has to call before. And it's either the shut off or the.
Before the shut off, yeah.
Before the shut off.
If they know they're having a problem, have a high bill, had a leak, whatever the case may be, can't pay, lost their job. We've heard a lot of any situation, but the ordinance allows them to pay half of the high bill with the current month and the other half with the next month. So they're able to split it up into two payments. If that's not helpful, we have several nonprofits in town that are very generous and have offered to assist people with hardships like that. The provision that the city has is the split into two payments. And they do need to contact and ask for help, ahead of a shut-off. The ordinance mandates fees, so we don't typically waive any fees, like if they let it get to that point.
They can also ask, I know it's only 7 days, but for.
Oh, yeah, we offer an extension.
We offer an extension,
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Within our ordinance too.
Up to
So,
7 days past shut-off.
as Teresa said, not to trample on top of what she's saying, but if they know there's a problem, I've had identity theft, they can call in as long as it's before, the shut off and know that is it due date or shut off?
Shut off. Well, the worry is that they'll get shut off. I mean, that's obviously
And-
the
and
worry.
ask for a 7-day extension, which we will grant.
So as long as they're on the front end, they do have time, but
Yeah, we don't.
nothing on the
grant-
back end.
On the back end, you've already been shut off.
Yeah, both issues that, and, it's neither here nor there, but both issues that I had heard of that came to me on this, they've happened after the fact. So they had a death in the family, they found out after they came and, it was the one person who was living in the house, they found out the water had been shut off. They're dealing with a death situation suddenly. And then the last thing they need to do is pay a fee because now they're gonna have to put the house up for sale and.
You always know your bill's due on the 25th, and then you get a delinquent notice, was it 15 days after
Right.
that? I mean, there is very ample notice in our ordinance that we follow very closely.
I just wanted to see what was available, because obviously things like this are gonna happen after the fact, or if you're automatic deposit or automatic withdrawal, you may not know there's an issue till your water's shut off.
No, you get a bill before your water shut off. Your second bill comes and it says you're
Your
behind.
delinquent notice comes.
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't pay on time, your next bill's in yellow, we'll say your bill is late.
Right.
You're delinquent if it's not paid by this next date, so.
If you're at the house, but if you're out of town, you'll never.
You can get an extension.
Okay.
Maybe I should open them.
What's that?
Maybe I should open my water bill. I'm on auto pay, so it just comes in.
Well, that's what I mean. Most of us are on auto pay or something like that, and if you're not attached to that property, you may not know.
Oh, you gotta take some responsibility in some of that when you're not
Well, right.
attached to it, and it's not auto debited, everybody's got a water bill no matter where you live,
Yep.
somehow, some way.
All right, so that was the one I had, and then the last one, Sean was queuing up for me here. So on this National Taco Day, I want to talk a little bit about food trucks.
Need TV?
So I want to talk about our food truck ordinance. It's definitely an issue that's come up this summer across the city here. I don't think that we apply it evenly. Because you'll see food trucks that show up at a house or other businesses on a whim. They're not taken care of. You'll see ones that pop up downtown at an event. They don't have to file a permit or show any documented proof. But if you have other ones at an event that's on a private property, they have to show proof, they have to file permits. I just wanna make sure that things are applied evenly and that we're not too restrictive on what we have to the point to drive away business events, fun things that are happening.
I was, as you know, a couple years ago when we looked at this with Ray Ray's was looking at doing a food truck. I was very supportive of food trucks, but after seeing our local businesses, brick and mortar, struggle to stay open with food costs and food prices, I'm not as supportive of, I like food trucks. The food trucks, there's an Italian one that has pizza, ungodly, believable. But I think we've got to be protective of our businesses that really spend the money to establish their business here.
Right,
Just my thought.
totally. And
Yeah.
when I was involved with zoning, I wasn't one who wrote this into code, but I was coming on the scene then, so I got to see a lot of it be written, and yes, that was the original premise of all this. But now we've had a few years to see how it actually is applied and how it actually plays out. And most of the food trucks are in and out, but also at the same time, on private property, we were applying licensure and fees. But if you have an event downtown, which we have a lot of events downtown now, more than I think we've ever had, you're bringing food trucks in, they don't have to have a fee, they don't have to provide documentation, it's much easier for them to go in downtown And with the traffic downtown taking up parking for local businesses and things like that, we're almost having an offsetting effect because we were worried about the businesses, but now we have a lot of food trucks here. And the food trucks that are actually downtown near the brick and mortar that we were worried about, they don't have to file anything. But if they want to go out to Ace Hardware, or if they want to go out to Tractor Supply or, Old Coglin or Kroger, they have to file permits, but they're really not near a brick and mortar that they're gonna hurt. So, we had kind of talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to see if there was anything that's in this current code that we could take out. The state does a pretty solid job, as does the county, of qualifying these food trucks, because obviously we want clean, successful food trucks here. We don't just want any truck. The state does a good job of that, so I want to see if there's anything in here that we don't need. And I wanted to examine the idea of the permit fees where we have them on private property versus event fees.
Is this, I know it was on agenda for safety and service.
It was, but I thought maybe we could bring it here.
I think it needs to go to safety and service to have a longer discussion.
Well, just to clarify, Teresa, can you clarify?
Feels like it.
The permit process associated with downtown events? I think you're
So
referencing.
the city regulates this food truck ordinance when it pertains to a food truck being invited to be on like a business, like a private property. Public events being held, such as Fall Fest, Summer Fest, public events being held on public property, the event holder has to apply to the city, and the event holder is the one who charges the food trucks. The city doesn't I don't know how much downtown Johnstown charges the
Right.
food trucks. I've heard $100. I've heard, whatever they choose to charge is something.
Do they
That's
do
how
some
they-
type of due diligence? I think they have to have liability insurance and all that.
Well, the food trucks have to have their
They do, but they
license.
don't
They
have to
their
hit that
license.
criteria that's right
They
there.
may not. I don't know what their process is, but it's under their event. It's not
It's under the event package.
Yeah, it's under the event packet. So we just regulate that, which restricts the food trucks from showing up every weekend. Like the mayor said, for, protection of.
Well, how this one's written, consecutively on one property.
Right.
But if you showed up to Old Coglin, which is 2 properties, you could go right across that property line.
I
and
mean, there's
operate for
ways
another
around it.
couple days, right?
You
That's
know.
why I said, we kind of have code here that I don't think it's 100% doing. And if you guys want to send this back to safety and service, we can definitely do that, but.
For the next safety and service meeting, can you put together some other ideas of the conflicting or not applied? Like the 4 examples.
Let's do a red line version.
Yeah.
We can do that. I mean, it's a
Not only
good
just-
time,
not
it's a
only
good
just-
time to fix this now because we're headed into the winter where there's not as many events. So it's a good time to fix this now and be neutral to everybody.
Not only just with the ordinance, but like you said, the 4 examples of where we haven't applied it equally from one truck to another
Oh,
or one
absolutely.
location to another. Just kind of give me like at least better, because running the fireworks, working with DGI, you have the good experience on that. I want to understand where we have not applied it appropriately. That'll give better scope of
Yeah.
understanding of your question.
Show that. 'Cause it's definitely different. Like if you're gonna have an event out at Tractor Supply versus an event downtown versus having them come out for your HOA, it's applied 3 different ways. If they even know that they're coming out for your HOA, they probably won't.
Okay.
'Cause it'll be on a
The only
weekend.
time we apply,
Last for mine.
up in the office, is this would apply to somebody that's coming in at the behest or request of Tractor Supply, or, a business is requesting that they come. And so this, restricts the time they can be there, the amount of time they can be there. But as far as an event might be once a year, so,
Can someone just come down, park on Main Street?
no.
Okay,
No.
that's why I was kind of making sure that wasn't the exception you were talking about.
No, if you have an event, which we seem to have an event at least once a month, and that's why I said they're coming down there and hanging out once a month, and I don't know that we're exactly getting things done versus how we plan to do them, but
Yeah.
we'll have a deeper dive in safety and service. We'll bring it there.
Well, I mean, that due diligence is on the event coordinator. Because all the trucks we did for fire.
It is,
for
but if you're
fireworks.
holding an event, you want the food trucks there, so
Yeah.
you're, if nobody's gonna follow up with you that you did your diligence, you're not gonna do them because the food trucks won't show up. But if we're gonna hold other events to that standard on private property, that's why I say we need to make sure it's uniform and that we're hitting the intended targets that we intended to hit and doing with what we did with the spirit originally of creating this code, or just get rid of the code.
Anything else, Mr. Green?
That is all I have.
Mr. Seelan?
We'll start with the heavier one, right? Well, lovely social media is neither social nor media. Just ask, be careful. And this has nothing to do with political seats coming up, but more so to children and teachers and parents' lives. When there are rumors flying around on social media, to be cautious, to be wary, that even if a child makes a mistake, that's that child mistake. We've all been children. We've all made mistakes of varying different degrees. So yeah, I'm going to get on the soapbox about this and just say that seeing the rumors, seeing the things that get thrown out there, to go to the proper chains, even posting anonymously. I don't know if people know that people who run some of these talking boards, they can see even the anonymous posts. So even that is not truly anonymous, and they sometimes do love to say who is saying what. So I'll just ask, take a moment of caution when talking and running with the rumor mill. Again, especially when in relation to children and the mistakes that they make. 2 candidate events. Meet the candidates. October 18th, that's after the Legion breakfast. October 18th, Saturday, at the Legion, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All candidates involved in the Johnstown City Council, the Johnstown School Board, and the Monroe trustee races. All those candidates have been invited. Some have RSVP'd, some have not. It's an open forum. Each candidate will have a table that they can be at. It's not going to be a debate. It's not a moderated question and answer, but people will have the opportunity to come meet these candidates, see what they have to say, understand what their stances are on how they would like to see each of those different races run. So again, that's October 18th at the Legion, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. October 23rd, it's the following Thursday here in City Council Chambers, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. One question was asked about signs. Candidates can bring signs to either event because it's a non-voting day. I've looked through the 3 referenced ORC codes in relation to that as long as they are out and not posted out front, you can hand them out here, you can take them home. We're good to go with that. Again, all 3 races, candidates will be here as available. There's one other event in town. I'm not going to step on the toes on that one. That one's still getting in the works. And to piggyback off of Jeff, Homecoming, Emily Dagg, Sarah Penrod, definitely Ashley Wetzel. Again, their entire crew of the PTO did an amazing job putting together a theme out there. And I will definitely give my shout out to Bree Warner and the high school choir, singing an amazing rendition of We're All Johnnies, and that was a very, very cool move by that group. So I definitely thank Bree Warner and the high school choir. Dashing Diner, I think you guys took away an award, right?
We did.
Yep. Window display. So again, I say all that, the choir performance, the homecoming, the candidate events, the wins are here. And I think, you just got to look in the right places. So I definitely say that there's a lot of positive things going on downtown, everywhere, uptown, sorry. Softball, JYA, football, JYA flag football is starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, but then that leads straight into basketball, wrestling, all sorts of other events. But a lot of very good things going on here in the city. So that's all my info.
Okay, I have one thing. There's 1, 2, 3 of you, so we're 4, 5, so we're just missing Kyle. So for any candidate, and this is for anybody running, I highly encourage you to follow the regulations for the signs. Where you put them, it puts city administration in a bad spot when you put your sign in a right-of-way or somewhere where it's not allowed. The city's taken a stance that they are not going to pull signs out, because if they're caught pulling, say, my sign out, then it could be said they're against me versus somebody else. So I'm asking you, please don't put the city in a bad position. Make sure you put your sign in the yard, not in what they call the devil strip or the area between the sidewalk and the road, and just follow all the regulations so it does not put the city in a bad spot, because it's something that's come up every election period since I've been here, that people complain about the signs, that they're in the wrong spot, and it puts the city in a bad spot on what they should do with it, so. And that's all I have. Anybody else have anything?
If you don't like a sign on your property, you can take it down. It's your property.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Chief.
Johnstown Police Officers Foundation will be assisting the American Legion at the 18th breakfast, helping serve the individuals that come there and donate. I just want to give a shout out to them.
And we have a couple swearing-ins at the next meeting?
There will be a sergeant swearing in and an officer swearing in on the 21st.
What's the date on the fundraiser?
The 18th, 8 to 10.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you for coming tonight. I make a motion that we move to executive session to consider the employment of a public employee with no business to follow, to include all council members.
Second.
Be real quick.
Mayor Barnard.
Yes.
Wes Coble.
Yes.
Jeff Barr. Bob Orsini.
Yes.
Dave Seelan.
Yes.
Ryan Green.
Yes.
Tiffany Hollis.
Yes.